What's up, everybody? This morning I'm in Deadwood, South Dakota. Every bit of 18 degrees outside. Just want to show you around the town and what's going on. There's where I had dinner last night at the Legend Steakhouse. Everywhere you go around here, it's a casino, bar, whatever. But in these places, they have some amazing food. So I was here when I was a kid. I think I was like 8 years old. My parents did the old Griswold family vacation across country. And we got to come up to this place and stay the night. And I can tell you right now, it has definitely been modernized. But that's all right. They cleaned it up and they're doing a lot of all the buildings that they're building, making it look like they're old. So making everything fit in, which is pretty cool. So this is where I stayed last night, the Deadwood Mountain Grand Holiday Inn Resort. Phenomenal place, nice and clean, brand new. What this place was actually a mill and gold mine and all kinds. It was one of the biggest gold processing plants up here. So this is the river that runs right through town, runs underneath of the hotel. Now it's not something I'd like to go panning in nowadays because it's definitely the runoff of everybody's sewage and waste and everything else, but I can promise you there's gold in that shit. Probably not a whole lot, a lot of specks I'm sure, but there is definitely gold in that sewage. It's actually clean water right now. The Homestake Slime Plant. The new Holiday Inn casino. It's kind of crazy to me, to think that, they removed all of the cyanide, mercury, all the nastiness. And here's what this says about the slime plant and the casino, what it used to do out here. It says, gold had to be removed from the ore, the rock, brought out of the mines. Milling processes crushed the ore to the size of sand. Mercury, cyanide, or heat isolated the gold particles. Deadwood Gulch millmen used several methods, including chlorination, stamp amalgamation, cyanide leaching and smelting. The slime plant in front of you extracted gold from muddy, finely crushed ore. This slime was dried in large filter presses, then leached with a cyanide solution which dissolved the gold. Charles W. Merrill invented this variation of cyanide process for the Homestake Mining Company. The company paid the inventor a percentage of the gold that his method saved, making Merrill a wealthy man. The plant operated from 1906 to 1973, and polluting the hell out of everything, I'm sure. But there's a pretty good population in this town, and they all seem pretty healthy, so who knows. And here's what this says. Bonanza in the hills. Placer gold in the creeks had been eroded from the surrounding hills. By late 1876, miners began shifting their attention to the source of the gold by tunneling into the hills. Such hard rock mining used explosives instead of pans and sluices. As mining moved from the creek bottom to the tunnels, the economic structure changed. While placer miners worked alone or in small groups, hard rock mining demanded a greater initial investment and a larger workforce. Corporations dominated the mining industry. Instead of working on their own, miners became wage laborers. Boy, that bullshit. But I guess at the time, if it was good money, usually it wasn't. Usually these miners had got paid in company certificates that they could only use at the store, and they ended up owing these big old corporations. It was a bullshit deal all the way around. But that's what the gold rush was all about. Only a handful of people made it, got rich. Another handful, made wages, and that was it. And most everyone else lost their ass. But that's how the West was, discovered and set up, and just crazy. Here's another history fact, whatever they're talking about. Placer miners first looked for gold in the gravel and sand along the creek bottoms, such as the one near you. This guy right over there. And if panning was productive, a group of miners would stake a claim and build a sluice to wash gold from the gravel. In prospecting, nothing has changed since. You got to start out with a gold pan and get out there and find the gold. Gold is where you find it. And there's the creek that runs right underneath the entrance to where I'm staying. And it sure does have gold in it. Like I said, you could probably pan it and find something. So here's the skyline view of Deadwood. All the old houses. And here we find ourselves at the resting place of Wild Bill Hickok, James Butler Hickok. And his accomplice, Calamity Jane. Pretty amazing. Her dying request, bury me beside Wild Bill. Let's go see him. There he is. Wild Bill Hickok died August 2nd, 1876 by a pistol shot, age 39 years old. Custer was lonely without him. Erected by J.H. Riordan of New York, 1891. And there's Calamity Jane.